Money, what everyone loves talking about. I got a pretty good response last year to the blog that I put up about whether I'd made any money from triathlon, and it's one of the things that Cody Beals does quite regularly that I find really interesting. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little video on have I made any money from triathlon this year. So last year, the rookie pro year in a pandemic, not kind of what you'd take as a norm. Last year I made £8,994.52 just overall. That's what I made, mainly due to PTO paying us for Daytona and some Zwift races, which paid quite well. Yeah, in terms of what I spent £12,210, mainly on bike parts. That was like nearly £2,000 worth, and also travel. So travel, there was obviously the big trip to America for Florida and Daytona, although we were actually put up for quite a lot of Florida, so not as expensive as it would have been. When I published that, I hadn't counted my Florida prize money because I hadn't seen it at that point. But with that Florida prize money, I think I had lost about £1,000 overall from triathlon, which I think, considering it was a pandemic, not too bad. So then this year, thankfully this year things look a little bit better. So I still spent quite a lot of money, £16,579, which is about £2,500 more than it would have been because of my scramble to get back from South Africa. So I guess not too dissimilar to last year, and again mainly because I got really lucky with, for example, Boulder being put up by friends, so not having to pay for accommodation, South Africa not having to pay for accommodation, Mallorca only having to pay for a week of accommodation. So my accommodation cost for the whole year is only £1,280, which, considering where I've been, is obviously pretty good. Biggest expense is flights because of those South Africa flights, basically. So that's £5,757. And then after that, bike parts again. I'm not sure why it manages to be so much every year. Yeah, I ride a lot, things break. So yeah, bike parts has been £3,000 basically. And then on top of that, service of the bike is like another £1,000. I guess other things I spend quite a lot on: massage, it's like £600, physio another £300, gym costs about £600, swimming another £450 for pool hire, COVID test this year £450. So yeah, that's the kind of breakdown of what I've spent money on. And then in terms of what I've made, I don't know 100% what this is going to be yet because I haven't had Mallorca and South Africa, so I don't know what the exchange rate is for what I'll actually get, but I've made a bit of an estimate based on the 30% tax. So overall I've made £29,916, which is £22,300 of prize money. So I guess that's the South Africa run, the South Africa win, the Mallorca win, Tulsa prize money, and the PTO prize money from the few local races. Alongside that, I had some really good podium bonuses this year. That was £6,000 worth of podium bonuses. Obviously winning helps, it makes the podium bonus a lot better. Also towards the end of this year I signed with Hunt and managed to get some actual cash. And then YouTube, so Jack is finally getting a marginal amount of money from slaving away. So yeah, interesting, on YouTube their estimated revenue of what they think we should have is about £600, but in terms of what we've actually seen so far in the bank, it's about 350. So hopefully that means there's a bit more coming, and as that grows, hopefully that keeps building. Yeah, and then we get better content, you get to see me rambling on more. So yes, I guess that leaves me this year from triathlon at about 14 grand. It's not bad, hey, for like second year. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And hopefully, I mean, like next year's going to probably be a bit harder in some ways, because I guess I'm mainly doing the 2 championship races, so podium bonus probably not as likely to do very much. Costs likely to be much more, especially if you're getting to Kona, yeah. So yeah, I'm expecting much bigger costs on travel next year, because obviously the 2 big races, and try and do big camps before both of them. But then I guess I've got my Hunt sponsorship, I've got the bike sponsor, which isn't a cash sponsor but has some bonuses involved in it. I've got the CBD Triathlete sponsorship, which is a little bit of cash. Might have a nutrition sponsor. Pretty happy that I'm not relying on triathlon for my income. And that at the moment this is basically my go into a little savings pot to help go back towards triathlon next year. So I'm hoping next year the sort of content package that we've got is pretty good. So I'm hoping that we get a few more either sponsors or companies on board with doing, I guess, kind of like supporting the content production cost, which hopefully then leads to better YouTube videos, which then hopefully leads to better YouTube revenue, which will then hopefully lead to more other brands being interested, I guess, in supporting us. So if there are particular videos you want to see, let us know, because we can produce them. Podium bonuses is going to be a big one, depending on where I race and who I'm racing. And I just hope that, I guess, by the end of next year, I'm in a position where I've had good enough results that I can hopefully attract a few more cash sponsors as well as other sponsors, or improve the kind of contracts that I've currently got. But yeah, I think for me the priority is still working with brands that I really like and believe in. So I think, and that's partly why I'm still working for Lloyd, ensure that I'm not dependent on triathlon as my financial support, because it means that I have the freedom to kind of choose who I want to work with, which is quite nice. The other thing that's really important is thinking about the value that you add back to people, which I guess is where we've got to trying to create this kind of content package of giving good content back to the brands that are supporting me, and also Jack. So yes, I think, because I think it's important to think about why is it that they're supporting you, because yes, okay, results is part of it, but ultimately they also need something to help them sell things to people. So hopefully at this point next year, I'm at least in a similar position, if not a slightly better position. But as I said, I'm expecting costs to probably be a bit more next year, so we'll see.